What's up, Swig Squad? T with the Diva here. And I come to you because I wanted to give my 2 cents on the B. Simone thing. For those of you who don't know, B. Simone has a podcast, and she had one of her best friends on this podcast. And her best friend they were having a conversation. And I don't know what alluded to this conversation, but I do know that B. Simone's best friend said that she went through a tough time in her life where, she had to move back in with her parents. Her car was repossessed. She just went through a really tough time financially. And she's having this conversation with B. Simone, and it made me think about B. Simone's history. I'm not sure if those of you who are familiar with B. Simone and who she is and have followed her for any amount of time, she had a podcast with one of her other best friends before in the past. And her and this young lady are no longer friends. And they ended up falling out. The young lady, I believe, went through a divorce. And we all know that people are totally different on the other side of a divorce. And B. Simone was saying that, she had to discontinue some of her friendships because of certain reasons. My conclusion or my take is I don't think B. Simone is a friend to anybody. First of all, her and the young lady that she had the podcast with, when that was over, I felt like she dealt with that in a really juvenile way. I feel like she was really immature. The way that she would respond to things, it would just be really childish to me. She would allude to different things, and she would make different comments. And I just feel like, when a friendship expires for whatever reason, and you two are both adults who both have experienced evolution, that there doesn't have to be a lot of daggers thrown. There doesn't have to be any negative connotation to any actions. She just was totally negative. She made sure that everybody knew that this is what she felt, just so everybody can know that this friendship no longer served her. When I saw this particular podcast and this episode and this conversation, it triggered me because I just feel like she's just not a friend to anybody. And in the wake of the whole Shamia, Portia, B. Simone and her friend, these friendships or lack thereof, I think that people probably need to really get to know what a friendship is. Friendship is supposed to be the family that you choose. Because, of course, we can't choose our family. We're born into our family. So friends are supposed to be the family that you choose. Well, I mean, and of course, you can grow out of family members. You can grow out of any kind of relationship dynamic. Anybody can. But I just feel like there is a way to do it. So she's grown out of that friendship, and she's gained new friends. And even with her new friends, this conversation her and this young lady had, this young lady is spilling herself about how she went through this horrible time in her life. And B. Simone's response is, Jesus. She just kept saying Jesus every time the girl explained something that she went through, as if she didn't have any knowledge of it. And the girl also said that she watched B. Simone give checks to people, money to people, and she didn't she said it wasn't your responsibility to help me. Well, I beg to differ. I feel like as a friend, If your friends can't help you, who's supposed to? And like my mama used to always say, can't nobody live in this world by themselves. Nobody can do this thing alone. Life be lifing. And it can really kick you in the behind. Now, is she obligated? Of course not. Is it her responsibility? Of course not. But as a friend, if I have a lot of money, and I understand later on in the conversation, she started complaining about having to shop at H&M and not being able to go to Bloomingdale's anymore and all this stuff. But whatever I have as a friend, I'm going to give my friend my last. And I will give my friend my last because I probably have more resources than she does. And I can probably ask someone else before she can. And my friend can't go through anything like that. And I have any amount of money and not help my friend. I'm talking about if your friend, because I went through a season in my life. My mother passed away in 2016. I lost my job in 2018. I had to get open heart surgery in 2020. I had to move out of my house in 2022. 2021, 2022. Like, I've gone through a season in my life where I really, needed people. I really needed somebody to stand up and be there for me. Now, I do realize that my friends aren't who I am. You can't expect who you are out of other people. But if I'm looking at my friend, and my friend is a celebrity, and she may not have the money she once had, and I can understand that, but her car not repoed, and she not evicted, and I may not be able to go to Bloomingdale's, but the fact that I can go to H&M and shop is a blessing. And if my friend car note, all I got to give her is $1,000 or $2,000, I just couldn't see myself not doing that. So I'm just trying to figure out, what is a friendship? If we're not here to pick each other up when we don't have and to help each other out when we're not there, like, do we just need people to go out with? Do we just need people to tell our deep, dark secrets? Do we need somebody to vent to when our man ain't doing what we want him to do? Or when our kids ain't acting right? Like, are these friendships, like, maybe I'm crazy. Am I looking at friendship in a way where I'm putting 20 on 10? Or are friendships really there, friends really there for when you need them? Like, for when you're going through things, for when you are dealing with things, for when you are in that season where you just really, really need somebody. Do y'all feel like friendships are supposed to, friends are responsible for picking you up when you down? Now, of course, if you're a friend and you don't have it, I definitely understand. I understand that you can't give what you don't have. So, of course, I wouldn't look for anything in that instance. But in the B. Simone respect, why can't you help your friend? Like, and why would she have to ask? I think having to ask for money is like a real humbling experience when you need somebody to help you and you used to being independent and standing on your own. I think having to humble yourself and go to someone and ask for something is a very humbling experience. But if I look at you and I feel like you need it, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. I am not going to. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. This is all she did. She just sat there and Jesus. And then later on, she started crying about not being able to shop at Bloomingdale's. And I don't know. It did something to me. I think I was triggered. I think that B. Simone isn't a friend to anybody. She doesn't know how to be a friend. I don't think she knows how to be a friend. And this is just what I feel. What do y'all think? What y'all think, Swig Squad? Those of you who are familiar with this situation and are familiar with B. Simone and her podcast and this conversation that I'm speaking about, what do y'all think? Let me know. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is your girl T with the Diva, and I'll holler at y'all later.